All right, good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we will be going through the order flow in the live market and forward-looking analysis here, not hindsight, and using order flow as our guide and our tool analysis. And this offers an advantage, an edge. This works with any trading strategy that you might be trading. Okay, so in fact, the interesting point right off the bat that I got to get into in the first few minutes here. So before that, though, risk disclosure or general disclosure. All Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So as you guys know, we are asking that Discord members on the Discord server at Bookmap, please take a screenshot here, the QR code, and then fill out your information to unlock exclusive content or products. So for example, access a beta program and some of the free add-ons. This is one of the things immediately that I'm going to go and show you here, that we have a new footprint add-on, and we demoed this actually yesterday very briefly in the Bookmap Academy, and this has been asked or requested for a long time, and now we have it, right? And it's right on the heat map. Look at the information that you can get with the volume dots, the liquidity, and now footprint all together. Many different configurations for this. But you can start to piece all of this together and start to understand your market delta charts right on the heat map. All of the heat map, or I'm sorry, all the footprint charts that I'm aware of do not offer this additional information. They do not offer the heat map. Okay, this is one of our main features, our core features and core advantages is being able to understand who's taking the other side of the trade. If you look at any of the software out there at the highest level, they are not offering something like this. If they do have some sort of liquidity areas in there, it is going to be tick data and aggregated data. Whereas here in Bookmap, we're seeing it, you see the changes in the heat map in here in the liquidity. It is irrelevant to the well, it's irrelevant to the tick data or time frame. So most of the footprint charts is one candle, maybe it's time, maybe it's a rotational period or something, but it's all aggregated data within that period. This is not. This is looking directly at live updated data that is not based on transactions, is based on if more players are providing liquidity on the bid or the offer, then it is updated in Bookmap immediately. And this will give you the most up-to-date information, right? So anyway, for you footprint traders out there, like I said, highly requested for a long time. Well, now you got it, right? And you can start to read the profiles in here, for example, the way that we've got the delta on this configuration. The numbers are here too. You can just, you might have to zoom a little bit. It is aggregated. If you zoom out a little bit too, you can kind of see like maybe multiple price levels are kind of aggregated together. Anyway, the data is here. Now, if you're interested in this product, the way to get it is you need to be part of the Bookmap Academy. Then you can get free access to this product. And to sign up for the Bookmap Academy, let me show you how. Just go to bookmap.com, click on the More button here, and then go to under Community, Bookmap Academy. It's right here. You can read through it. You can get Bookmap for free. The whole signing up for the Academy is free. You can apply here. It just scrolls you down the page. And then you'll need to add your Discord name here and also social media if you have it. We're not asking for much: first, last name, etc., email, and Discord username. Right. So sign up, and then you can go through and read about the program here. Yesterday we had a meeting. Basically, it's a coaching and mentoring program, and you can see our meeting from yesterday here, and we went through other people's trades, members' trades in here. So let's just take a quick look here as soon as it updates. There we go. So you can see, like, we're giving feedback. We're going over these images, the journaling of other members' trades, and then giving feedback on it. Okay, great program. If you're interested in that, you can sign up here off of the Academy page. We'll put this into the chat for you. And then as Academy member, you will get access to things like this footprint chart. All right. Yeah, looking like this 5 or 50-30 liquidity is ready to transact. Looking for the buyers to hit into that area here. Yeah. Let's we'll take a look here. It's starting to starting to taper off a little bit in here, as you can see on that buy volume, and a little bit coming in the book here as well. So I'm still looking though for this 32 transact. Okay, you can see the book on the bid. See the bid under here a little bit more at higher level. They're bidding up in these levels in here. So looking pretty good. They're pulling liquidity in here. So just looking for a follow through on these buyers and hit up into these this 30 level here. Okay, let's look for a pullback where we might get a pullback as well for the moment. Hold on, not a horizontal line. Ray. Go. Yeah, so maybe right back to this liquidity here, and then we're looking for one more attack by the buyers to hit back up into these levels here. Okay, so that's very short-term liquidity read in here, or order flow read. All right, so as you guys know, we've been covering trades, trading information, trade management in these webinars a bit, mostly in pre-market, and then just going through some of the details. Now, I was testing. This is what I want to cover in here, and this is kind of related to the Academy. We've mentioned this to other members in the Academy. When you are testing things, and I was testing reading this new tool here and using a footprint chart. Now, I used to trade footprint until I came across Bookmap. So I'm accustomed to it. And it's been a long time though since I've looked at a footprint chart and used it. So I was making decisions based off the footprint chart. Okay, I didn't make very good decisions in here. So I'll go through the trading activity in a second here. Let me just get into if there's any questions at the moment. Take a quick look. Hold on. Ah, beautiful. Slow down. You just caught a flag pattern, developing flag pattern in NQ. But yeah, we'll take a look at that here. Nice. Good morning, Alan, Rob, Stephen, everybody here. Great stuff. All right, let's just double check over in YouTube as well. How's everything going? All right, no questions over there. Okay, good. All right, so all right, and thanks, Dan. You posted the Academy link in there. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to turn on the. It's now again. This is testing, guys, but I still want to cover this. Looking at some of the orders in here. and some of the trade decisions, and also, you know, it was testing as well as like during some meetings. So it's really not very good trading, but there is an important point to make here, and that is that, let's just zoom in here. Some of the trading decisions in here at these points were based off of reading footprint and reading some of the profiles in here. So I started to see that we're in an uptrend, but then I started to note that there was quite a bit of selling starting to come in here. Okay, so I shorted here at this point. Now I'm not looking for much, just, you know, back down into these levels in here, based off of, though, reading footprint. So now I'm not reading order flow the way I typically do, right? And in fact, look at this wall of liquidity right in front of me here. So this is a really bad decision. Why would I short here when I have this telling me? There's two things telling me here. Okay, one is that we see a breakout in the uptrend, and more buying at higher highs in here. Okay, two, and let's take the footprint off for just a minute. Okay, and I did not use this process. Okay, so I used the footprint for processing this information instead. And then I thought we'd have some trap volume and we'd see the sellers pull it back down into a level here. But the order flow is telling us something different. Okay, so bidding up in this area in here, I didn't even see it. I don't even know if I may have not even had the heat map on at that point. I may have had it dimmed and just reading the footprint. Okay, so anyway, what I saw in the footprint chart was you know, a potential trap volume, and then looking for the some of the selling coming in here to move it away, and maybe get a stop run to the downside in here. And it went back and forth for a while, and then you can see 8:30 there was some data in here. I believe, yeah, okay, so during the data, some of my target was filled here, and then I was stopped out here. Okay, so immediately, it was a small loss, since I was lucky. I got in two contracts. One was taken off here, and the other one was up above the swing, and that was taken out and then some, as you guys can see with that data release. Anyway, what did I do in here? So then I was looking for a potential flag pattern in here. Okay, and reading the footprint again, and we'll have to bring AJ in here. I don't know if AJ's in the room or not, who's a part of the Bookmap Academy. That's been he's a footprint expert, or, you know, he's been trading it and using it quite a bit. So if you're in here, AJ, let me know. But all right, so anyway, what was the decision in here? Like coming down into the below these swings in here, I see high liquidity in here. I'm in, and I'm sorry, I'm in here, right? Thinking that this would be enough, and then we'd see the move back up, at least up into these areas here. As you can see, my target, it went against me. I'm thinking for sure it's got to be, you know, here. This is going to be the low, and then the trap volume, and then the move away, since I'm going with the bigger picture trend, okay, which is this move here. I got stopped out pretty quickly, as you guys can see, and then I thought, well, let's take a look again. Okay, now we're down at where this range. These are not good decisions. I'm just going to go through them, and then the important note is coming here at the end. So now off the top of this range, I'm looking for a bounce. Okay, if it can't do it off of this range up in here, I'm looking for or this liquidity here. Then I'm looking for the bounce off of the top of this range here. All right, so that one worked out, and I got in here just about the same place I got stopped out, even a little bit worse, or, you know, a tick higher. Went against me a little bit, but then ended up coming. I'm looking for it to come back up to this area here, and retest, you can see that I had brackets set on the trade. I gave it a little leeway, and then I also moved my take profit down to this area here, and then it was hit, and then we see the move continued to the downside here, right? So anyway, that was the decision-making process. Now, the big error in here, and we've covered this in the Academy meetings before. If you are trading a new process, okay, and you're feeling it out, then do it in sim, and do it separately from any other studies. Do not mix your studies. Okay, so if you want to integrate footprint into it, look how you're going to integrate footprint into your trading separately from what you're currently trading. Okay, because you don't want to mix things up. That will lead to tremendous confusion. All right, so this is really important. T46, yeah, you can get a footprint. You're part of the Bookmap Academy, yeah, you can go to the. I think Dan, maybe you can give a link there to the room on Discord. You missed the meeting, I guess, yesterday, T46. Yeah, and as an Academy member, you will get it for free for now. It's in beta. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Perfect. There you go. And let's see, also in YouTube. Yeah, if you guys want to get it in YouTube as well. All right, enthusiastic Danny Garcia, excellent. Yeah, this footprint chart could be a real game changer for a lot of you guys, for sure. We have a really interesting way of a creative way here of displaying this footprint as well, and I'll cover that in a minute. Just want to finish up with the trade management part in here. The important thing is, Rob, slow down, or any of you guys, I've mentioned this before, actually several times in the past, but to some of you guys specifically, do not mix your strategies. If you are trading a specific way, stick with that and do not change it. Okay? If you make a change, like let's say, for example, Slowdown is looking at his Wyckoff Spring example or a flag pattern, and he's trading it a very specific way. Do not mix the strategies. If you change it or edit your strategy, have it in a separate study. Okay? Because you want to keep them separate. You know what you were doing. You knew what you were doing before. It was working. You want to do a new study. Maybe it's a tweak to your current way of trading. Then add that into it, but add it separately and track it separately. All right. So this is a good demonstration of why, because it will lead to losses. All right. Now, overall, I was lucky. I think I got a bit more than break even out of this, but it doesn't matter. Like this was, pretty bad decision making. But I'm doing something else in here, right? And why I'm covering it is learn from the pitfalls in here. Okay. All right. So we covered that, yeah, we can go through some of the configurations in here, so maybe answer some questions for you guys on this footprint. Right now, I'm looking at the profile and the delta in here on it. You note the delta delta data here in the kind of subchart as well. I've got max delta, pullback delta, minimum delta, height, and tracking on the ask in here. We can go to the see here. I should be able to go to. No, I'm not able to in here, and you can limit what you want to look at in here. So maybe you want to keep it really simple in here. Minimum delta, I don't really care about. Pullback delta, not really. Just delta, and I don't even need max delta. bar height. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, maybe min and max would be okay. All right. So, and I have the over here the glossary, or the you know, representation, what it is. And we can look directly at it in here now. All right. So this is something that you guys can note in here in the delta chart. Okay, we're starting to see a reversal take place in here. Right. So here's the move down. Right. Look at the negative deltas in here. Okay. Look at the selling in here. We have the footprint delta chart and profile. Right. Some back and forth in here. And then the delta turnover from negative here to positive. Okay. Now look at this back and forth in here, though. It's a little bit, there's a little bit of negativity, or negative delta, positive delta, and then one more big negative delta in here. And then look at the shift and the change here. Okay, it's right here very clearly, and that has shifted price away from all of this area in here. The same concepts that we've been going over for quite a while about this in here moving price away, and then being able to see that also in stop runs here with the red line, as you guys can see. And then we would be targeting this liquidity up here at the top of the range. Right? So this is another tool to look into and bring into your studies. Okay, if you're interested, you have free access for now. Take advantage of it. It's a great tool to explore. All right, what do we see so far? So still positive delta in here, and then now some negative delta. Right, so and that leads us to current price in here, and we see a bit of positive at the moment. It's been flip-flopping back and forth though. So looking for more positive delta to come in. And then looking for the move back up into our 50-30 level. And that's what we were looking for when we first started this webinar. All right, now another thing I want to cover in here is this tool together with reading the order flow as we typically do. Right, so the same information is here in Bookmap. It's right on the chart, right in front of us. In fact, you're getting a little bit of a more real-time information here in Bookmap than you do in the footprint chart. I mean, it's updating immediately in the footprint chart as well. But when we see this kind of move in here, I mean, it is telling us something. It is moving away from this whole range in here. Okay, we don't need to look at the delta to know that. We can just look at the graphical representation of these volume dots in here. It's very clear. It's hitting us over the head. Okay, we're moving up. Buyers are taking control at this time frame in here to move price higher. All right, and we've been chopping around in that zone now for a while. Okay, so anyway, we can take a look at some of these tools all together, and start to maybe get more details in the order flow here in the transactions that we couldn't have seen before. But let's take the footprint chart off for a minute, and we'll just go through a very simple read like we typically do. And I'll put the footprint back on. Right, so the way we typically look at this is we draw our kind of pivot points in here as sellers in control from here. Okay, they've already been tested now twice. We have high liquidity there, so it still looks good as a target. This is where the sellers came in and dropped it, and then we have another kind of a bit of a pause here, and then they dropped it again. This created a trading range in here. Okay, this is what we look at, and then we just covered the delta, leaving the station here, and then creating this new trading zone. Okay, so now we know in this small time frame in here, we know buyers are in control. Now look at the order flow. Okay, on the offer here, it transacts. On the bid down here, now the bid also shifted up, and the offer is still here, the majority of it up here. So this is bullish. Okay, now we're looking for the transactions in here to give us insight to the move up to here. Okay, so let's zoom in, because I'd be looking for that move to unfold right now. Right, we have even another little zone in here potentially from right here onwards. Okay, so you can see like sellers just came in and moved it right back down. I'm looking for this to fail though, and I'm looking for buyers to come back in above here. Let's see if they can. Okay, because we're in this other zone in here, or trading range in here, and there's not so much trading up here right now in the this level up in here. The bulk is trading in here. Now let's see if we get our move in here, right? So now we've had this. We've probably had a bit of a stop run here. Let's get rid of CVD. Not much. Okay. Now we're looking for our buyers up in here, and let's see if they can move it very, very quickly up into 50-30. Okay, the bid looks pretty good. Okay, see them coming in here on the bid. Okay, now what's the reaction? Are we starting to get our buyers up in here? Now we've tested down here already. So now I'm looking for buyers to test it up here to 30. Okay, here they come. And let's see them move it now. They've got it. If they continue to buy here, we've got the bid kind of on our side. They're pulling a little bit of liquidity up here. Okay, and we're starting to see some buyers. All right, so anyway, that's the quick order flow read here. Now, and we went through structure, transactions, and liquidity or order flow. And we put those pieces together for looking for this move up into 50-30. Now let's add the footprint chart on here. Okay, and what more details we can kind of gather from this. Okay, yeah, well, here's that that quick selling here. And there's that potential trap as well, or stop out here. And then now the move back up, starting to see the positive delta in here so far. Pull back, but let's look for this these buyers again. Interesting little battle in here. Okay, positive delta again. Just turning negative actually. Hey, they're bidding up though here. That's good. Still like that. Sellers are been pretty consistent here actually. I was surprised to see after this this move here, we're down below. Now we're kind of back in the range, but anyway, let's zoom back in here. Okay, here we go again. Let's take a look at our footprint chart and our deltas in here. How's this working out? Okay, so this one closed here for positive delta. Okay, as we see kind of the negative delta in here. So this is good. Now we can see it again in here. Right, so still looking, the bid still looks good. Okay, they're even bidding at a higher level here, so we're still looking for this to unfold. Okay, we just had some back and forth in here. Okay, and still looking for our target and taking some off up at 30. Now, is this a high probability trade or something that we would really be looking for? No, not really. Okay, there's just too much risk involved in this. And again, this is not a trading room in here. This is an order flow reading room. But we will go over trade management, and we will read the order flow, and we will give insight to where we think price will go next, regardless of it being high probability or not. Okay? And we're still looking for this to trade up to 30 at the moment. All right. It is, you can see the back and forth in here right now. Right, but when it really tells us something else, then we'll mention it. It is more likely to unfold than not. Okay, so our higher probability. Okay, just based off the order flow reading. All right. So anyway, I don't think it would be a good trade for a number of reasons. You're getting in up here when it's telling you, or I think we're looking in here actually. and then we saw that selling, and then the buying did come back in, so we're still looking for it. So how would you manage your stop? Well, maybe you would have gotten stopped out here, right? And maybe you'd have to get back in again. You're adding all of this risk in this area here, which is just not a good area to put that risk on. Right? Now, on a small time frame, if you're trading a different time frame, that's fine. Whatever you guys are, whatever your trading plan is. Let's see. Can it add volume? Not sure what you mean by adding volume. We can go through the different configurations on this footprint chart if you like, Danny. Is that what you're asking? This is too much work, a waste of your time, T46. I'm not sure what you mean. What is? What would you and what more or would you like to see? Okay, so you're talking about just getting access to footprint. Oh, you're already part of the Bookmap Academy. You should be able to go right into that room. This is how we do our beta testing. It's all the same. We've always done it this way. Just be a part of that room. You can download it in there. You get the download link in there, and then you add it to your Bookmap chart. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's too much effort there, but I hope it should be pretty streamlined for you. I hope. Anyway, okay, guys, we got our move here. This is what we're looking for, and that was our partial profit taking up here as well. Let's zoom out and see what else is going on in here. All right, well, this still looks pretty good to me. A little bit of reading the delta in here, still looking like a reversal pattern in here to me. I'd still be looking for this to go higher here, basically. We've got this kind of turnaround. Now, this is something that the footprint guys really like about their delta charts, is being able to read this delta and understand where these high volume nodes are, and understanding that delta difference. Okay, so in this case here, like I'm still seeing positive in here after this kind of back and forth. So still looking for it to continue higher, basically. All right. Okay. T46, you're not in the academy? All right, well, you can sign up if you like. I mean, that's part of the deal with the Bookmap Academy, is you get exclusive, you'll get early access to these products. If it's too much work, then it's not for you. That's fine. It's totally up to you. All right. Anyway, you signed up already. Okay. Well, then you should be able to jump right in. I thought I saw you in there as well. I thought you gave some feedback. It was a while back, and then or you journalized a few trades, and then that was it. Yeah. And I think we did give you some feedback on some of your journal entries. Anyway, guys, so look again at this is what I find fascinating about I'm finding more here how to demo footprint chart in here that is really going over the same exact things we've been going over in Bookmap for years. It is the same thing in here. Reading these these delta charts in here along with the order flow. So let me just go through the point again. Okay, so we just is it clear? Anyone have any comments on this? Like starting to understand the turnaround from negative delta to positive delta, and there's a little bit of back and forth in here, but then the buyers come back in, right? So here's our positive delta in here clearly. Okay, 1, 2, 3 in here. Okay, moved it to a new range. A little bit of negative, now back to the positive delta here. Okay, and we were looking for this move, and until we see something different, we are still looking for this move to continue. All right, so they're bidding up at a higher level still underneath, so it still looks pretty good, and maybe that helps you stay in the trade. Now, just so you guys know, how all of this kind of footprint chart relates to the order flow in Bookmap. Let's deselect this footprint chart for now, okay? And take a look at it. Same ideas in here that we've covered. We have the volume bars, we have the volume dots. Okay? Clearly, we know sellers are in control. We also know they're trading into high liquidity on the way down. Okay? We see the back and forth in here. Sellers remain in control. We see some large volume starting to transact in here, though. And then this is where the volume kind of shifts and changes, and we see the move up. That's where we saw the positive delta. Okay. Now look at the bars down here. You also see that change. Okay, clearly, right? We can mark this up. We have in the past. Like look at all of this, and then this shift and change from there over to here. Now, let's just go through what we see right now compared to it. This little area in here and how it relates to this down here. Okay. Sorry if this is, just stick with me here. Maybe I'll use the pen tool. Might be easier. We're talking about this area here. Okay. And starting to understand like what's going on here, because I'm looking for, see this kind of delta here? I want to see that over here now. And I'm not really seeing that. It better pick up, else this is going to fail. Okay, so this would be just the move back up above 30, and then it fails and comes back down into the range. All right, so anyway, reading the volume dots and reading the volume delta dots and delta bars in here will give you this insight as well. It might be, I've been kind of using the footprint to confirm some of the volume dots and bars in here. What we're just trying to understand is gain insight to who's taking control. Okay, and we can see this kind of change around of not only liquidity but also the transactions. Okay, and yeah, here's the move down. Here's where the buyers come back in. Okay, so they're still moving this market. We need to see them really pick it up if we're going to continue. Okay, we're not really seeing that right now. Okay, so now let's integrate what we just talked about. All of this. I know this is kind of a lot to go over, but we're talking about reading this order flow in here in the volume dots, and we just talked about trade management. Okay, so that's why we would take some off up here at 30. High liquidity, top of the range. We're looking for the move up to it. All right, and then that's that. Now, if you're still in it, there's still reason to be in it. Okay, so the structure is still bullish so far. Okay, so there's no reason to be out of it. Look at the bid too, still good, right? They're bidding up underneath as we see positive volume here, buy volume. So there's no reason to exit, but there is reason to manage the trade. Okay, because we just talked about that. What kind of volume are we seeing over here compared to over here? All right. Ron, how is this different from Market Pulse? It's totally different. It's a very, very different tool. Market Pulse is a really interesting product. I mean, we've got all these different algos in there in Market Pulse. So it's very like configurable, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's a platform. It's basically a platform in itself that offers you many different algos that can run within Market Pulse. Okay, we've been going over volume pressure a lot. We've covered all of them in detail, but the ones that people seem to be using the most and understanding the most is the volume pressure and volume pressure imbalance. Yeah, we can bring that into the picture too. All right, guys, let's take a look at this now. Again, we're still bullish here, right? We saw this kind of shift and change in here, and this kind of potential reversal pattern taking place, right? And we're still in it. Okay? We're reading all of this data in here for the continuation of this move. Right, Rob, this is something that I had brought up yesterday, and I pinged you, I DM'd you, individually. Going through a checklist in here and understanding all of this in here is really the key. Okay, now we've gone over it in detail in here, but we should probably put this together in a checklist. Right, now we have that checklist tool in here that we've been using with the flag pattern, but you guys can, you have it here, right? Setups checklist. And you can put in your own checklist here. You can, where is it? Used to be able to. Hold on a minute, settings. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so it's updated. So you can make your own CSV file and import it. Okay, you can also modify your checklist right on the fly here. The default setting is here, the default setup, and this is the flag pattern. This is based off of the flag pattern that we have from the Learning Center. If you guys are interested in that. Right, so just go to bookmap.com, and here, I'll quickly show you. Okay, go to bookmap.com, and then you can go to education here on the top. That'll take you right here to the Learning Center, strategies and setups, and that flag pattern in here. There's a actually there's an Excel spreadsheet here for that checklist, but you don't need to use that anymore. You can if you want. In fact, Rob, maybe you want to download and print this one out. And use this. You can, pin it to your monitor or whatever. I always have it in front of you. But anyway, it's the same checklist here that we have in this video here. As you can see, we're starting to go through the checklist in the video and understanding what we're looking for in the flag pattern. So my point is, use this. You don't have to use this tool, but use a checklist. Okay, use a visual as well. This will help you. It should help you tremendously. Instead of making some sort of knee-jerk reaction here of like, I think it's going to go up because of a couple of little factors in here, don't do that. Like instead, like it's a holistic picture in here. You have all of this on your side, plus you have this here. Okay, so you would still be looking for this to continue, right? Okay, when you can lean on all of this and you have this behind you as a foundation to build up your trade idea, it is more likely to play out. Okay, do we have any reason at this point to look for sellers to come in here and drive it all the way back down here? No, we don't. We don't. We see there's some selling in here, but this is going to take a while, most likely. Now, we never know. The scenarios are crazy in these markets. There could be massive selling in here, like these kinds of green dots that we see. Well, maybe they're big red dots in here, and that would change our outlook. Okay, because then the sellers, we have some selling here, and we'd have massive selling here. Well, they have the potential to move it now because they have a lot of selling pressure, and there's other sellers behind them to maybe move it down into the bottom of this range, or maybe the middle of it, at least the high volume node here. okay, which is right here, right? So I Rob, I can't tell you enough how much I firmly believe in this, and this will make trading so much easier. Use your checklist. Use it to your advantage. It'll make all of this clear in here. Okay, and then you just take the trade and you write it out. Okay, so and then you just, this is your plan, and you're executing your plan. That's it. All right. Now that's your plan and your execution, and then there's trade management as well. All right, so we've already managed some of it. We would have taken some off at 30, and now we're letting the rest run here for now. You can move your stop up to break even. Your stop would have been, I think we were looking in here, right? Somewhere around in here or here. So around 27 would have been our entry, something like that, right? Well, we're in this liquidity bundle here as well. Okay, high liquidity on the bid. Okay, so we are still in an uptrend. Don't see a whole lot of selling yet to give us a different picture here, and we just stick with it. All right. So let me see, Rob, if you had any comments on that or questions. Take a quick look. Stephen, be very careful with this, adding this new tool, and you've made tremendous progress over in the heat with the Bookmap Academy. Okay, be very careful. That's why I wanted to show some losers and some of the trade management in here, and how this was not good trading in here earlier. Okay, because it could take you, and it might take you, if you don't handle changes to what you're studying, if you don't handle them well, it can set you back months. It can even get you out of the game. It might make things confusing. Okay, Rob. In fact, your content moving forward. Let me put it this way. I suggest every image that you put in now, that you have a checklist there. Okay, it will almost like force it on you. So every single journal, now you have your reasons behind it. Okay, and see if it helps. Try it for a week, and then we'll have the academy meeting next Thursday, and we'll go over some. Okay. Slowdown. He's just been, as you guys know, I mean, just incredibly helpful. Here's some of slowdowns in our chat over here in Discord, and his flag pattern. Look what he's done. He's got both checklist and a visual. This is the most powerful of all. Okay, and let me, in fact, let me open it up here in a different in a full tab here. Okay, so here's what he has. Now, maybe play around with your checklist, Rob. What is it exactly you're looking for? Okay, and if once you're looking for a specific pattern in here, well, then maybe put the diagram of the pattern in here that you're looking for, just like Slowdown did here. Right? So he's got, he's got his consolidation period, his breakout, the volume dots. He's got his liquidity in these levels in here. He's also now added the delta bars here as well. Look at the low volume pullback. Right? This is what he's looking for. Okay, and then he also has his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are his checklists. Right? What he's looking for. And he's even marked them here on the chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful stuff. Okay, and then look at, he knows exactly what he's looking for, and he's looking for this to play out. All right. Now, Rob, I would say don't don't get too confused with this either. Or not. I'm sorry, Rob. I'm not beating up on you. I always feel like I am. Uh, but don't get confused. Like if you're looking for a flag pattern, then yes, use an image as well. Okay. I would suggest this though. That would be phase 2 of putting the image up. Phase 1 is just identify these elements in Bookmap to give you insight to staying with this move here. Okay, and why you would still be in it and how you would have managed your trade. Okay, because then you will start to naturally put together a checklist. You'll start to understand, like, sellers in control, high liquidity getting filled on the bid, on the way down, and then the back and forth in here. Buyers take control above this little area here on this small time frame, back up into this area here, right? So in this bigger picture, in this picture from this point onward, sellers still have control. Okay, but buyers are itching to break out from that area, and that's what we'd be looking for. Okay, because we see the shift in the change. So that would be the thing to mark up. See the shift in the change, buyers. Okay, some sellers, some back and forth, but buyers. And you can see that shift, like we said, in the delta, right? So we're targeting this high liquidity here, right? And then in here, we're looking for a break of this little range to test the top of the range here. That was it. That was the small trade idea. And then we looked at the bigger picture in here as a reversal pattern. And we're leaning on all of these things in here. We have high liquidity that transacted. We're still finding buyers back up above it. They're bidding up underneath. And we don't see a lot of sellers coming in. Okay, so we're still staying with this idea. Right, and that will be helpful. All right, so looking forward to it, Rob, to see what you come up with. Right. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, play around with it, Stephen. But like I said, don't. I mean, you're on a really good track right now. Sometimes it's better to kind of like plug your ears and put blinders on your eyes and move forward with what is working for you. And don't take that fork in the road, like that distraction. There's plenty of distractions in this trading environment here. Okay, instead it's a really funny thing. You just keep it simple and consistent. It has to have an edge, and you know exactly what you're looking for. That's that's your trading plan. All right. All right. Well, you guys can see, like, we're still looking at this. We still have we're seeing sellers start to come in, okay, but we still have, what we had talked about in here is still in play. Okay, the order flow is helping us. We see the bid, and we already took some off. We're seeing the sellers come in, but and it's pretty good selling at the moment. You can see it, right? So, but has it made a lower high here? I'm sorry, a lower low? No, not yet. Okay, it's been making higher lows. Now it made an equal low here. Okay, so maybe we're seeing a transition. Okay, but I bet we're going to find some buyers, and I bet they'll probably come back in and move it back up to something like this here. Okay, this is again the back and forth here. It takes a little while for a reversal to take place, typically. Okay, so this is why, like, I think was it Shark Blue, or yesterday someone was looking at their 1 2 3 pattern, and you can start to you can kind of mock that up in here. This is why, you get head and shoulders and these kinds of patterns in here. Is it takes a little while in here. This is a buy for those that are bullish in here. It's bottom of the range. It's at a discount. They're going to buy it, right? We will see pullbacks in here, right? And we were just talking about a pullback to potentially this little area right here. It's already kind of unfolded. Okay, so we might even see it come back up into here, back to 31. Okay, and think about it. Like these sellers in here will likely have to cover if they're going to be, especially if we can get a little higher in here. Okay, this will be the fuel for them to be buyers up in here. Okay, above 32. Right, so guys, I mean, look at your price structure in here. Okay, just like we covered, and we never know. Right there, all of a sudden, like you can get massive selling in here. These guys pull their liquidity. They come down on the bid hard. I'm sorry, on the offer hard in these areas in here. We don't know, and that's okay. We just know that from our previous area in here, and we would look for if this structure is still holding, we're going to find buyers in this area in here. Okay, and they're going to move it back to a minimum area that we're looking for, and that would be the top of this little range in here, which is already unfolded. Now that's like what, 85, or I'm sorry, 28 and 3/4 on up to 30 and a half, or 30 and a quarter, something like that. It's only a couple points, or point and a half or something. Who cares? We're still looking for that to unfold. Okay. Right, so don't get shaken out of these things in here. If, again, it's the same thing we are just talking about with Rob. You know what's involved in this 1, 2, 3 pattern in here, or what's behind us here. Okay, maybe it gets disrupted. Maybe a ton of sellers come in here, but we would look for a move back in here. We're still going back and forth in this range. Okay, not necessarily looking for a breakout here. Okay, but a move back into the range. Okay. Once we start to see a change in the order flow in this range in here, then we will look for something different. Okay. So for example, Slowdown's Wyckoff Spring would be a rejection below this area in here. Many times it's a stop run. There might be a high absorption on the bid in here, and it might be an uptrend like in this example here. And then you'd be looking for the move back up and then potential breakout to the other side. Right? Now he's looking for something very specific. First off, it did not break this range. Okay, and then look at the buying in here, not very strong. Okay, buying above our little area in here though really did pick up. Okay, at that point there, we would look for a test to the top of the range. Okay, right through the point of control of, or the high volume node of that area here. At this point, the high volume node is, well, it's actually here. Okay, so we'd look for the move back up into there. Actually, Slowdown had an idea for you with the with your pattern, your Wyckoff Spring. Just a thought, because I've seen you most of your Wyckoff Springs are like a continuation move. So what I mean to say is, like in this example here, this is an uptrend, some back and forth, and then an uptrend is what we're looking for. All right, now the Wyckoff Spring would be like the move and just breaking below the range here, but it totally rejects and then comes back into the range, and that's where you're looking for your buyers, right in here. Okay, just like you mark up all the time. And then I think I've suggested before, when you see that pattern in the in this uptrend, it can work out really nicely. Like this this would be the result that you'd look for, but you never got the spring part here. You never got the break below. What I'm trying to say is like understanding the move previously, then look for the Wyckoff spring, not to look for the Wyckoff spring up here. I seen you many times have demoed that and or taken that trade, and it worked out great. I would think though that this would be less likely if this order flow in here is still bullish. That you're going to get the sellers move it to the bottom of the range, right? So that's just floating a few ideas in here, because you don't take springs on high of day, low of day. Okay, that makes sense. What I have seen is when you do have the kind of reversal pattern that's unfolding, your spring is actually the head of the head and shoulders. Okay, but that's a different thing. It's a reversal pattern. If you would be looking for a reversal pattern in here, now again, I'm just floating an idea because you're the expert with your setup. It's just in here, like we're still bullish in here. We covered it. Why we are still bullish in here, and this would be a counter trend, trade at that point. If you do see some sort of like kind of looks like it's a kind of a head and shoulders pattern, then that spring is actually kind of the top of the head, and then the move back in. And then if this starts to tell you something in here, these transactions in this order flow in here starts to tell you something, then that reversal could be more likely. Okay, so for example, there is some selling down in here. It's not a whole lot, but let's suppose this move here came back down and there was quite a bit of selling here. Okay, and then we came back up and then created this kind of trade into high liquidity stop run up in this area here. Then this would be a potential head and shoulders pattern, and you would look for the continuation to the downside at that point. I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, it's one is a reversal and the other one is not. Okay, and the continuation pattern is the one I think I know you take the most, and it is oh, good. Okay, makes sense. I know that's the one you take the most, which I think is just brilliant, because a lot of times that rejection down here, it rejects hard. Like, this will be a total buy down here. There's people getting stopped out that were long in here. The buyers will come in on the other side here and then move that market because it's still in an uptrend. And this is a mispricing here. And people are all over that, and we'll move it to the top of the range and then typically break out like your take profit 2 level. All right, guys. Well, anyway, we're seeing this reversal starting to unfold. We would have stuck with this trade. We had our reasons behind it because of all of this information behind it here from the cash open here, 9:30 actually, right? And you would still be in this trade, and you would have reduced some risk already. All right, so this is bigger picture stuff. We're not getting into the minutia here in the order flow like we typically do, but still, reading this bigger picture in here, they're still bidding up underneath here at higher levels, and we made a higher high. And they're not really pulling much liquidity up here, but this bid is still good, and then you can see that some selling, some buying, but looking for next move into 34, 35, yeah, something like that. All right, guys. So anyway, you can see there was that little, you know, very, very quick move to the downside. That kind of throws a wrench in this whole thing, but we talked about getting involved into it somewhere in here, and also that it wasn't very high probability. We're just looking for maybe a small move up into here. We didn't really have that clarity, but unfolded nicely. And if you were still involved in it, like, there's no reason to get out of it. Okay? And we would have held it through here. Okay, and you would have been rewarded. So from around this 27 level on up to like 34. So, it's a good, nice little 7-point move. All right, any other questions? Let me see over on YouTube how we're doing. I'm sorry, guys. It looks like quite a few questions in here. Danny, on a daily chart, yeah, we didn't look at our higher time frame here, and look at the selling. Just someone just dumping up into here, selling hard. It's still bullish. You can see that's also rejected back pretty quickly here, right? But that's some pretty heavy selling in here. I don't know if you want to manage it at that point and like you're out of the trade. The structure is still good. It is a lot of selling though. Okay, so a buyer's going to scoop it up. Well, if you see it starting to curl around, you see more selling come back in, maybe so. But I'd still be looking for buyers to try to get back above 32 here. We'll see. A lot of times this is a larger player sweeping the order book clearly right here, right, and then right here at two big sweeps, two different tranches here, and huge stop run here. Well, not so huge, 60 or so, something like that. And also stop run here, about 60 or so as well. All right, so let me get back to the questions. The first question was a higher time frame. Well, here's our daily over here on the left-hand side. Still quite bullish here. Here's our hourly in here. This was the move and the gap fill here, and we're back up. And as you guys can see, we're above that area. So all-time highs and still going. No reason to exit here. This is looking, especially this 15-minute looks great, right? So just sticking with it. Okay, now we're above our 32 level in here, and we're seeing our buyers here, right? So this is a big shakeout move or larger player taking some profit here. Okay, and we mentioned if we start to curl back around and see more selling coming in, that would be different, right? We would consider managing the trade differently at that point. All right. How do you add the footprint to your chart? Yeah, that's really easy. It's available once you sign up for the beta program. You don't have to download anything. You just come to the Bookmap configure add-ons right here, and then just come down and hit the add button. No, I'm sorry. Hit manage add-ons, and you'll see it listed under here. It's already in the trade manager in here, or add-ons manager. You might have to scroll down to the bottom in here and then install it here. Okay, and you'll be up and running. All right, that's that. So you just need to sign up at the Bookmap Academy and request it. Go into that room that Dan provided the link to. Okay, in Discord. That's it. You're good to go. Guys, please give us your feedback on that. One of the things I did want to cover with the Bookmap footprint chart here is these two settings in here you should play with. I highly recommend that you have them both selected because this allows you the scaling in here. It will aggregate some of these different footprints together depending on your zoom level. So if I zoom out, look, see how it aggregates all of those together into this profile here, or this footprint chart here, right? So and if I continue to zoom out, it will continue to aggregate like that, right, and give me that information. This is a really nice feature in here, both horizontal and vertical aggregation like this. So you can look at the different, in this case, different profiles and different delta levels here on these different time frames. That's pretty powerful. It's pretty nice. Okay, so it's kind of, look at it top heavy up here. So let's zoom in and see. Let's see if we get a retest back up in here. Here's that top heaviness basically that we saw, right up here, and this volume dot and this volume dot. This is exactly why, guys. I mean, you don't have to have a footprint chart to know this stuff. I know a lot of you came from that education, but we're already understanding it in Bookmap. You see the big volume dots up here, so we know that it's auctioning up here. We can auction up here again more, or buying up in here. We have more likelihood of the breakout and price exploration to the upside here. Okay, that's it. Okay, look at sellers at the bottom of this little range starting to come in here. Okay, and yeah, kind of hitting the the high volume node in here from previously. Okay, so maybe that's enough. Maybe we'll start to get buyers there. If we don't and we see more sellers come back in, then I would look for the sellers to reach back down to 30 here. Okay, pretty quickly too. Let's go through some settings in here. Anyway, yeah, play around with some of these settings in here and configurations. There are many different settings. So you can look at histogram in different ways. Delta, positive, negative delta. So it you see it both here on each side. You can also look at your this is the buy and selling histogram with the delta as well, and then you can also look at this the big bar in here of one color, okay, or you can look at the delta bar in here, and it's just one full bar. Okay, maybe you like that. Anyway, whatever it is that you like, I kind of like this one, so I'm looking at that one. There's the transparency in here. Okay, so play around with that. You can use different shades in here. So it's up to you. Okay, here the footprint type is summation. You can look at buy and sell here, and then also look at if that's the case and you want to look at your histogram of buying and selling. This is your more traditional footprint chart right here. okay, or with the not single color, both colors, so whatever, you should be able to find what you're looking for between these here. Summation, horizontal delta, diagonal delta, you got it both. Okay, for all you guys that love all this kind of stuff. Summation is fine for me. Font size, crypto rounding, okay, and then all the different delta bars down here that you want to look at. Covered that earlier in the webinar. Okay, good stuff. All right, guys. Well, yeah, this is what unfolded here. We're just kind of reading that in real time. We would have been looking for that move to this liquidity down here at 30, and that's kind of what has unfolded so far. We saw that we did not get our buyers up in here. We had our sellers in here, and if they can get through this level here, that's when we'd look for it to trade back down to here. Okay, and that's what's happened so far. This is being recorded and will be available on YouTube immediately after the webinar. No, the red dots are aggressors and the green dots are aggressors. The heat map is the passive. Okay, the footprint chart, same thing. Green aggressors, red aggressors as well. Oh, thanks, Alois. I always answer the question, and Alois has already answered it. Thanks so much, Alois. Yeah, it's available for the Bookmap Academy right now. That's part of the, like I said, part of the deal. We have a great team over there, and we wanted, one of the benefits is to get pre-released add-ons and other perks. It's if you don't like it, then you'll just need to wait. But we're going to cover it anyway, and it will be released soon. But you guys get the jump on it, and the Academy guys, that they get first dibs. They're dedicated traders. They've demonstrated that with their documentation. So we're going to give it to them and let them play around with it. Okay, instead of someone that we don't know if they're interested or not. And we know we're going to get some journaling, and some of the Academy members will be interested in this. So we want to give it to them and serve them. Really appreciate you guys over the Academy. It's been great, and you can see the results. All of you guys that have been partaking in it, your content looks so much better. All right, Alan, another one. Stephen, Rob, and Slowdown. My God, Slowdown's been a model for it, and that's why he went from Academy to coach pretty quickly. Yeah, Slowdown's awesome. Let's see a few more questions here, and then we'll wrap it up, guys. Yeah, it'll work on TraderMap Pro, Alan. It should. Try it. I can still pick on you. Well, you're doing it, Alan. There's no kind of, the picking on you has kind of gone away, and it's more like now it's more giving comments on what you're doing and what maybe more to look at. You found your own strategies that are working for you. And then it's more like just refinement of that. Right. And one thing I really like what you're doing, Alan, is you're looking at you're reading the momentum, and momentum is one of the easiest, I think, uh, and one of the best things to study first, if you can. Reversals and other things. I mean, look how we're struggling with this. Like it's doing it, and we're looking for a reversal here, but it is really kind of taking its time here, and this can be really frustrating. Instead, we're looking for all that frustration to be out of the way, and then just ride the momentum. So, like that accumulation distribution phase, you don't get caught up in it. You wait for it to break, and then you're riding the markup or the markdown phase. Okay, and that's the price exploration part, and it can be very profitable, and a lot easier on your mentally at least, right? Because instead of all this back and forth and sitting staring at your charts, you're just maybe even scaling into your momentum move. All right. All right, guys. Well, anyway, yeah, please uh, sign up for the if you want access to well, in the Bookmap Discord in here. Uh, give us your email in here. Uh, like I said, you will get access. Others that aren't part of the Bookmap Academy, they will also get access to these beta programs, but the Academy guys will get it first, right? Because we can count on like them and good feedback, and we're happy to give that free access and um, first look here compared to others. And then the next step would be to unlock it for others who are on our Discord, who we know are using Bookmap. And then we're happy to provide that for you guys. Very happy. So do that. And then we're gonna have a nice product and launch it. Okay. All right. So yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for coming, everybody. Let's wrap it up. We will reconvene on Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody, and yeah, good trading out there. And we'll see you Monday morning. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Bye bye.